After the lockdown rules were relaxed, I was so eager to see my parents, so I decided to pay them a visit. It was during the week. I was excited to see them. Of course, I was carrying my laptop because I had to log on and work. I was sitting in a bedroom at home, working, going through mails, when my 9-year-old nephew came running into the bedroom where I was working, and he looked at me and said, "Uncle, are you going to buy a Lamborghini when by the time I get to high school, which is in 3 years' time?" I looked at him, and at this time, I wanted to tell a white lie like we normally do. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to say I don't like a Lamborghini. I think it's an ugly car, to dismiss him. But I decided I was going to engage my 9-year-old nephew. So I looked at him and I said, "Why do you want me to buy a Lamborghini?" He said, "Uncle, it's a very nice car. Don't you agree?" I said, "Yes, it is." I said, "You see, I cannot buy a Lamborghini because I cannot afford it." He looked at me and his 9-year-old and he said, "Why?" I said, "I don't earn enough money to buy a Lamborghini." But he said, "Uncle, you've been here for the past 2 days and you work so hard. You work for a bank, but you don't have money." I looked at him and said, "Well, a Lamborghini, people who can afford." Then he looked at me and said, "But there are people who drive a Lamborghini. Why can they afford it?" So I looked at him and I said, "People who afford a Lamborghini are people who own businesses. And not just businesses, but businesses that make a whole lot of money." He looked at me and said, "In that case, you like a Lamborghini, and you say for you to buy a Lamborghini, you need to own a business. Why don't you have a business, uncle?" This time I was speechless. I didn't know how to respond. So I looked at him. I said, "Well," I decided I'm not going to tell a lie this time. I said, "Mchana, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared to go into business and I'm scared of failing." Then he looked at me and said, "But why are those guys not failing?" I said, "I think they failed and they just keep going." And he said, "Why can't you do the same thing?" And I couldn't answer the question. He stormed out and he left. Got me thinking. Sometimes we need to ask ourselves simple questions. We all know what to do to be successful. Most people know that probably maybe smoking is bad for their health. They know they can get to rehab and get help. They know what to do, but they just don't do it. But when we ask ourselves, or when we get asked simple questions and we reflect, we realize that actually we know what to do. So this simple question got me all thinking and introspecting